There are people who are such fans of certain cartoons that they dress up or even speak just like their favorite characters. But what if I told you that besides these people, there are others who go so far as to want to live in the same house as their favorite cartoons? Would you believe it? One of these houses that looks like it came straight from a cartoon is in the Caribbean, in the Dominican Republic. More precisely, in a resort. It not only came out of a cartoon, but came straight from the bottom of the sea, from Bikini Bottom. The house is a replica of the pineapple where the clueless SpongeBob lives. But it's not just in any resort, it's in Nickelodeon's holiday hotel, Nick Resort Punta Cana. You can even sleep in SpongeBob's pineapple house. Just shell out a whopping $4,000 per night. Are you up for it? Now, you're going to discover houses around the world inspired by cartoons that some very crazy fans built. Bluey's house. Who doesn't like Bluey or hasn't watched the show isn't a good person. If you've watched the show, you may have noticed that many of the adventures take place in a very familiar environment. That's because a good part of Bluey, Bingo, Chili, and Bandit stories happen inside their house. And I'll tell you something amazing. Airbnb, along with the BBC channel, had one of the most sensational ideas of all. They decided to build a house that is simply identical to the Healer family's house. The house took about 2 years to build and is located on a quiet tree-lined street in Brisbane, Australia, the same place where Bluey's family lives. It has every detail from the show that has captivated fans of the Blue Dog around the world. The red mailbox, the bone-shaped chimney, toys like Bluey's magical xylophone, and even the girls' room with their 2 beds and the watermelon rug. It's all there. Incredible. But how did Bandit and Chili manage to afford a house that costs almost $1 million with their jobs? Who knows, right? Maybe they won the lottery or received an inheritance from their Healer ancestors. But winning the lottery would really be able to live in such a cool house, wouldn't it? I would love to live in a house like Bluey's. Up House. Another magnificent construction that grabs people's attention for being a perfect reproduction of an animation is Carl's house from Up. The house that looks like it was taken directly from Pixar's animation was built in 2011 as part of a wish from a girl from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. It was designed in every small detail, from the weather vane, the mailbox, the photos on the walls, and even the light switches and the floor were reproduced to make Carl and Ellie's beautiful little house come to life. It is located in the state of Utah and can be visited by tourists and curious people. But this is not the only Up house in the world. Can you believe that in addition to reproducing another house just like Up's, some guys from National Geographic had the courage to attach more than 300 giant balloons to the house to see if it would fly like in the Disney movie? And to our surprise and satisfaction, it worked for real. The house was suspended over 3,000 meters high for over an hour. Tell me if this isn't one of the coolest things you've ever seen. I confess that I'm a big fan of Up, and the incredible adventure of Mr. Fredrickson and Russell, and this scene of the house flying for real brought back great memories. Hello Kitty's house. Going from one extreme to another, let's check out the house of the world's cutest mute kitty, Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty's house is on the other side of the world in Taipei, Taiwan, and is full of super cool references to the character. In fact, it is a hotel where you can stay for the price of $400 per day. Cheaper than SpongeBob's. It really turned out beautiful and is definitely one of the best houses on our list when it comes to comfort. Would you live in a house like Hello Kitty's? The next house is from one of the most famous cartoons of all time. And rumor has it that if you subscribe to the channel now, someday in the future perhaps, you might be able to live in one of the houses on this list. So, subscribe to the channel. Who knows, right? The Amazing World of Gumball House. Now, I'm going to tell you something really impressive. What if I told you that the Watterson family's house from the Amazing World of Gumball exists in real life? Would you believe it? Well, YouTuber David Evgen made this incredible discovery and posted everything on his YouTube channel. Of course, the city of Elmore where Gumball, Darwin, and their whole gang live doesn't exist in reality, but it seems that the houses of the characters and even the school where they study exist in the real world, and they are exactly like the buildings we see in the animated show of the Blue Cat. The real Gumball's house is in the city of Vallejo, in the state of California, and catches the eye of those who know the animation due to the great similarity. I have to confess that I didn't expect this, but it was a beautiful discovery. The question that remains is, who copied whom? Is it all just a big coincidence? I don't think so. What about you? Batman's Mansion. Now, completely changing the style of residence, let me introduce you to the house of none other than Batman. Actually, it's Wayne Manor, which has been the residence of the Wayne family for many generations in the stories of Gotham's vigilante. This spectacular mansion was used as the residence in the filming of the movie Batman: The Dark Knight. It is located in Nottingham, England, and is simply spectacular. Just look at this mansion and tell me if you can't imagine Alfred serving coffee to the Bat after a long night of fighting crime in Gotham. Does it have a hidden cave under this mansion, just like in Batman comics and animations? I don't know, but this Bat mansion is simply awesome. Seeing all these houses inspires me to want to have a house like this for myself. And if you feel even a little inspired too, comment #DreamHouse and tell us which cartoon house you like the most. The Flintstones House. Those from the old days surely have watched and had fun, or at least heard of, the adventures of Fred, Barney, Wilma, and Betty from the show The Flintstones. This Stone Age gang had a very curious lifestyle surrounded by prehistoric utensils, dinosaurs, and, of course, their incredible stone houses with super funny shapes. So, in 1988, the famous actor and TV producer Dick Clark decided to build his own house inspired by the Flintstones. He decided to reproduce a house in the best Jurassic style. The house replicated every detail of the cartoon and, besides being beautiful, turned out to be quite comfortable. In fact, it is quite luxurious and is valued at around $250 million. Located in Malibu, California, it even has a sea view. Very cool, isn't it? Who said Stone Age men and women don't have good taste? It only lacked a pet dinosaur and a brontosaurus steak for the fantasy to be complete. Barbie's house. Returning to the vibe of a more colorful and cute world, there is also the house of the great celebrity of the toy world, Barbie. The most famous dollhouse of all time was the dream of many girls for decades who had fun playing house with the various versions of the doll, until someone decided to take the expression "playing house" literally and built an incredible Barbie mansion in Florida. The house has everything that can exist in the world of the blonde doll and is simply the dream of Barbie fans. To give you an idea, over 378 liters of pink paint and 9 kilograms of glitter were used in the house. That's love for pink. Snoopy's house. You've probably seen a cartoon of this super smart dog, Snoopy and Charlie Brown's gang. The show is historic and has a legion of fans around the world. To give you an idea, the creator of the show, Charles Schulz, got a museum in his honor where an exact replica of Snoopy's doghouse was built in a giant size. The house is now used as a tourist information booth, and you can visit it in Santa Rosa, United States. I would love to take a tour of this museum, and you? Hobbit Hole. To finish, we brought a house that is an exception, as it is not from a cartoon, but is part of the world of fantasy. Not just any story, but probably the greatest fantasy story ever created, The Lord of the Rings. And we're not talking about the grand castles of Middle-earth, not even the celestial dwellings of the elves. I'm talking about a real good life, peace and tranquility, the Hobbit's village. These small beings with hairy feet make their charming houses mixed with nature, almost like burrows in the ground. A British photographer named Simon Dale got tired of city life one day and decided he would live in the countryside and build his own house. And he liked the peaceful lifestyle of the Hobbits so much that he decided to make a house exactly like the cozy holes of the little characters created by J.R.R. Tolkien. Simon built the house following every environmentally friendly standard with solar power generators and near a crystal clear water source. He even left a place to plant his own vegetables, just like the little hobbits. In addition to being ecological, the house is very beautiful and definitely makes you want to live there. And now, here's the most impressive detail. Simon wasn't even a builder or architect and built the house in just 4 months with the sole help of his father-in-law and a few friends. To accomplish all of this, he spent only about 3,000 pounds. Yeah, folks, when you have a dream, nothing stops us from making it come true. Those were the coolest houses from cartoons and fantasy that we found in the real world. Which of these houses did you like the most, and in which one would you definitely live? Let us know. And stay with us. Click on one of the videos we're leaving here on the screen for you and just enjoy. Until next time, everyone.